Hi, I'm here today with Melissa Dela Cruz, and we are talking writing. And actually, I'm going to ask you now, Melissa, if you could offer a piece of advice to young aspiring writers who are just stepping out into the publishing world, what one or two things might you tell them?
Oh, I would tell them to listen to a lot of older hands. I think that young writers tend to be a little bit, the arrogance of youth, I would say. And maybe when I was a young writer, I was also a little bit too, into myself, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But, I think I would tell them that it's a marathon and it's not a race.
Excellent point.
And really, those of us who've been publishing for a long time are here for a reason. While nobody will publish your book just because you're a nice person, it's always better to be a nice person to everybody. And
Well,
most.
people will stop publishing you if you're too much of a pain in the butt. That's a true thing right there.
Oh yeah, and those people, our PR people, our marketing people, our sales people, they work really hard, and I think that there's a lot of feeling, of oh, my publisher doesn't do enough, or oh, kind of like the feeling that it's just you. And what I found being in the business for so long is how hard so many people work for our
Yeah.
book. And, I mean, you really need to appreciate that and kind of remember that if you're being published, you're not self-publishing, you're part of a big, great, tradition of real publishing. you know? And I think that's what I hear a lot is that there's a lot of kids who are publishing who feel like because they've been self-published or that they're so used to having their own Tumblr or blog or whatever that they know everything. I mean, and it's really not true, even with book covers. I myself, told my publisher, oh, this cross is too big. It's so not like it should be in the book. And, I was so, kind of upset about it. And then they changed it for me. And then and then they said, why we wanted that symbol to be so big was so that you could see it across the room in a bookstore. And I said, oh, well, that's really smart, And I had no idea that there were these things that people paid attention to, like what your book will look like in a bookstore. And the thing that I was responding to was that what's on the cover was not exactly what I wrote about in the book. And it's like, no, the cover has to sell the book in the bookstore.
And let the professionals be the professionals, which is, the young writers that was a learning curve for me is that trust that these guys, they're sharp and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
And and you made that point, which I think is really good about listening and learning. I only wish that when I first knew that I wanted to be a writer, that I would have done more of that, worn that apprenticeship hat, and just been like, let me learn about this great industry I'm trying to enter.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think you can learn from everybody. You can learn from the young, enthusiastic people to, the old hands. I mean, you kind of have to balance it. And I think one thing that I always tell myself is, not to be bitter, not to be jaded, and to always kind of enjoy it. Like we're really privileged to be able to do this job. I think it's, one of the best jobs in the world, no matter how much writers complain.
Excellent, excellent.